Well, it's a very good morning from Lampolya on the coast, where we start today's ride. Now, it's a bit windy today. It should mean we have a very nice ride in one direction at least. This is Lampolya. It's a very pretty little seaside town. It is a resort, but not really for foreigners, more for locals. It's got a lovely little harbour. It's also got ice cream shops and pizza places. Really, what more do you need? Oh, speed bumps. Done a lot of work since my wife and I used to come here as a mini break about once or maybe twice a week to get away from our farmhouse restoration, which we were living in as we restored, and we had no water or electricity. So we're currently still on the original sea line, the original coast, but as of here we're now heading out onto the delta and the deposits dumped out to sea by the River Ebro. I'm hopeless at remembering at what stage the main crop on the Ebro is at. And the main crop of the Ebro is rice. It's a whole series of paddy fields interlocked with irrigation ditches and canals, and the whole thing is just a few feet above sea level. So managing the saltwater freshwater balance is an absolute science. Hold up of the day. Looks like they're cutting the verges. How essential that is, I have no idea. So everyone's faster than me today. That girl's just overtaken me, must be 14. I mean, she's not exactly pulling away, but I thought I was doing well. At the moment, I'm doing 34 kilometers an hour. It's pan flat. I've got a bit of a wind behind me, but I think it's affecting me more than her, so I should be sweeping past like a Spanish galleon. I do like watching the odd bird or two, and this has, I think it's either 300 or 400 species that have been spotted here, including of course our Alduin's gull, which the delta holds the largest colony of. Now, I don't often ride my road bike on the delta, because though it is very flat, and the roads, as long as you stay to the main ones, are very good, it's really boring. This is rice that they've not cropped yet, so we're obviously right in season for it. Oh, you've got the ground, you combine harvester, I'll give you the keys. Now, I had planned on calling this ride, this movie, Monte Carlo or Bust. I was going to make a big thing of it, how we're going to go to Monte Carlo. I was probably going to throw in a few Bond impressions. I might still do that, you never know. But I found out this morning that Monte Carlo was the scene of a terrorist atrocity in 2017. We'll still go there, we'll still talk about it, but I'm not going to make jokes about Monte Carlo, that's for damn sure. Some gulls. They look like Mediterranean gulls, not Alduin's gulls, but oh, that's not a gull at all. It's not even a bird. Nay, it's not. I say this almost every ride, but this is new tarmac. Any of the sceptical who thought, oh, the delta's safe, that's why they're building tens of thousands of houses on it, it must be safe. About 2 years ago, I forgot the name of the storm, but it inundated the delta. The waves were so huge, you just crashed straight across all of the paddy fields. I'll show you an aerial photo of that. It's quite impressive, and really the only bit left standing above water was Delta Ebro and the other tiny towns. Most of this, one of my few hills of the day. Yes, you might call it a bridge, I call it a hill. Here it is, the mighty Ebro. We'll have a little stop and have a look at that at the top. Doing the whole of today's ride using this little breadcrumb trail. It's not easy. I did just get a bit of one-way street wrong, but I think I'm on the right road now, so it's not working bad. It's the rice factory. In the far distance there you can see Monte, which is the mountain range that we're going around and over the back of to get back to Lampolya later in the day. Didn't mention today's ride's about 100 kilometres. Those mountains in the distance there, they form part of the original coastline, and all of this in front of us has all been laid down in the last 2,100 years, because the Ebro Delta has been made almost entirely down to man-made influences. And it was when the Romans started clearing the land and deforesting the area for agriculture, more and more sediment was swept into the river. The extra sediment being pushed into the river, a delta was formed which went straight out into the Mediterranean. I love that the farmhouses are so remote and they're on a slightly higher lump amongst all the paddies, and they're always shaded by either eucalyptus or palm trees. So there are your Glossy Ibis. I mean, it is beautiful and beautifully different. Then I'll go on. See, 14 varieties, 75,000 tonnes a year. It's even got its own DO like they do for wine. The marina at San Carlos de la Rapida. Smells of seafood. Greasy, oily seafood. Together by developers rather than because there was a need for housing here. And so what's happened is most of them have been bought up by foreigners, and by that I mean people not local to the area, so including people from Barcelona as holiday homes, and then they've decided maybe it's not where they wanted to be, and so a lot of them are back up for sale or were never sold in the first place. There's an awful lot of small failed hotels, and it's possibly alive for 2 months of the year only. So I was going to make fun of the little urbanisation of Monte Carlo. I was going to set it all up so that I look confused and disappointed when I actually made it to Monte Carlo, to find it, well, less than expected. But instead I found out this morning that it was Monte Carlo, where a jihadist cell put together, or were in the process of putting together, 3 enormous car bombs, truck bombs, that they were, it's thought, planning to use against the Cathedral of the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. And instead what happened is that they blew themselves up. Well, that sounds fantastic, but unfortunately the remaining members of the cell went ahead with what they had, and one of them drove up and down the Ramblas in Barcelona, killing I think 14, injuring 130, and some other guys, hold on, and some other guys climbed out of their car after ploughing through people in Cambrils, which is a tiny little town right next to us on the coast, and went on a stabbing spree and they were shot dead by the police. But can't really make fun of urbanization. I couldn't be bothered to go and show you now. It would have been funny, but not now. And amongst all this glory, cement works. Oh dear, obviously puts off a bit of dust. And this beautiful beach, it's the beach of the cement, because out this way is a huge jetty that leads out to the sea where they can load up all of the cement onto ships and take them off around the world. So the cement beach, which actually is really lovely, and then the cement works, and this noise. Going a little bit off script here to show you what happens with developments. They put in the infrastructure first, so you've got the roads, trees for shade, the rubbish bins, pedestrian crossings, but no houses. So little exercise machines for people to come and use on a Sunday morning. So this is a working fishing village. The difference with a lot of the other fishing villages that are along the town is that they're actually resorts. Oh, they're redoing the front. How awkward. Where am I supposed to go? Okay, I'm quite glad I didn't go that way. Place I've been in years. Actually smells of suntan lotion. It's absolutely lovely. What's funny is that for a lot of people this is what Spain looks like. Well, this is what the seafront looks like, and I never see anything like this. It's nice though. It's nice. I think I mean you've got all the planted palm trees, you've got the cycle path and the promenade, and that's what's facing it. The video is complete without some mention of the Civil War. Now these are a series of bunkers that they built all the way along this coast to guard against the threat of a Franco invasion. Now those ones don't look particularly impressive, and that's because they didn't start out there. The land's been washed away. I didn't actually know I was going to cycle along the beach. Pretty cool. I've been in worse spots, so I thought it's time to get my feet in the sea, bite of lunch. So cheers. Where those people are standing. That's the southernmost tip of Catalonia. Now when you look on Google Earth, that little sand spit doesn't exist. It's pretty groovy. So close to Valencia, but no. We are going to Canal next, through the orange groves. It's my one and only climb of the day. I can't remember how tall they are. Not very. Still more than I've had so far. It's 50 kilometres, 168 metres climbed, and I think they were mostly from bridges over the canals on the delta. This was the town I thought I was most likely to get lost in. It seemed to be following those breadcrumbs very well. Today's only climb, it's not too bad, 4 kilometres at 4%. It's obviously quite a busy road though. I don't know if you can see that white building very well. yet another monastery, but just to the left of it there are some caves, and in those caves are cave paintings 8,000 years old. Just to the left you can see a little, well, I hope you can, a little dark bit in there. I think this might be the Holy Grail of cycling. On the way out I had a tailwind, and I've got a tailwind on the way back too. Well, that lasted all of 5-6 minutes, and now it's a headwind. Little horses. Big horse. Big hellfire. This is still working. I'm super impressed. The stables here, they've obviously put their own speed bumps in the road. They're about 6 inches high and about a foot long. And I went over the first one, that was okay. And the second one, well, not quite so good. Drop the camera, drop myself. Bloody dangerous, that. And now, which used to be the seaport that I was telling you about, it's now 20-30 kilometres inland. It's got very narrow and shit streets. It also has the 1931 suspension bridge over the Ebro. Sometimes it's just the only way. Well, I'm very frustrated. I had a puncture, these things happen. So I fixed it, set off again. Oh, it was like a firework going off. I thought a kid had chucked a firework under my wheels. And then one revolution after the fix, bang! Down it went again, same place. The offending article had forced into the inner tube. I checked the tyre. Wasn't there. Checked again, it was inside the inner tube. I've now got patches on patches and a patch on my shredded tyre. So hopefully it's going to hang together for me to do the last 10 or so kilometres. I'm not too sure how far it is, let's hope it's 10 or less. So I'm going to have to forego the pretty seaside route. I'm just going to stick to this fast road back to the car and hope it lasts. I mean, it's not like I can do anything about it. But I'm flinching at every tiny stone, and I'm trying to avoid every pimple on the road. 6 kilometres to go. Well, made it. That was a very stressful time. It was only a puncture, but you do get in a bit of a state sometimes, well I do. But finished 97 kilometres I think, and well, until next week.
Thanks for watching.